Bow, 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 bow.
Dee-nee-nee-nee.
And welcome to the Ruby Tuesday. My name is Ruben,
And I'm Kay.
and today we are reviewing Lucifer Season 5 in Netflix original series. This is Part A.
In Part A of Season 5, Lucifer's twin brother Michael secretly takes the devil's place on Earth while he's back in hell. Eventually, Lucifer must return and face the mess his brother has made with his life. He also finally confronts his feelings for Chloe and answers the question that fans have been asking since the very beginning. Will they or won't they?
So the Lucifer series has been up in the air quite a bit. It was cancelled and it was picked up by Netflix, and then the new Netflix series was met with a bit of, it kind of split fans because Netflix was able to do much more than they were able to do with I guess a normal network TV, because they can F this and F that. They can have more raunchy scenes. It can just be more adult, which is what is, I guess, closer to the graphic novels, the storyline, where like a TV network has to have a certain PG-13, PG-14, depending on what network and what time you're on.
Mm-hmm.
And so that kind of split fans. I, for one, loved Season 4. I thought it was fantastic. I watched it once, I watched it a second time with you.
Yeah.
And so now we have Season 5, which has been split into two parts. So we have 8 episodes in Part 1, and then another 8 episodes in Part 2, which is coming next year. So it feels a bit weird because for the last season we got 10 episodes, and normally we get 20. And so they've split it up, although we did think that this was going to be the last season, but we're also getting a 6th season. So the whole thing is a bit all over the place. Nevertheless, if you're a fan of Lucifer, we've got more episodes, so let's talk about it.
He can go to hell.
Now's your time to get down in the comments below. Let us know who's your favourite character. Because that changes for me between series. So first we're going to talk about the plot and story without doing spoilers.
So, of course, the major plot point is revealed in the trailer, so that is not a spoiler. I think it might have been slightly more interesting for the reveal had it not been in the trailer, but of course the big hoo-ha is that Michael is Lucifer's identical twin brother.
Yeah.
And he comes to wreak havoc and mess with Lucifer.
And as everybody guessed, the reason they revealed that in the trailer was because they sought that out, that kind of reveal, within the first 2 episodes.
It was in the first episode.
Okay, within the first episode.
Yeah.
So that's not a da-da! They just like, here you go, twin brother.
It felt, to me, like they forgot about Season 4 and went back to their formula for Season 3.
Yeah.
It was much more in the same... The plot points were very similar to how they had been in Season 3.
Yeah. I have to say, it felt very much formulaic to TV episode, less like Netflix, which is a weird tack because it is Netflix. It feels very, I guess, true to the original first 3 seasons of TV that we had. There's also interesting detective storylines that were less of a...
feature.
Yeah, less of a feature in Season 4. Season 4, it felt like almost they didn't know that they were going to get another season. So it felt like they were doing all the supernatural stuff, which is really fun. Probably why I really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
In this one, the supernatural stuff is there, but it kind of takes a step backwards. It's more focused on relationships. It's more focused on... detective work, which I think sometimes is when the show is working at its best. When Lucifer and the detective are on an investigation together, that's when it's really fun, especially as their relationship makes a shift.
Yeah. I did feel like the plot points were not something that you wouldn't have guessed. Yeah, we already guessed everything before there were big reveals.
Yeah. So as
it's
always,
a bit predictable.
As always, the first 4 episodes are backstory, character development, a little bit of reveal, a little bit of supernatural stuff. Last 4 episodes for the first half are, hey, this is what's happening. Can you guess what's going to happen? And we did pretty much for everything. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the characters.
The characters. So obviously we have one new main character, and that is Michael.
Yeah.
Obviously played by the same actor as Lucifer, because it is him. Yeah. He doesn't actually have an identical twin brother. Some fans will be disappointed, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I found his character... Initially, I found him intriguing and interesting and really fun and really mysterious. Kind of magnetic, really. You just wanted to know more about him.
Okay.
As it progressed, and then he I don't know if this was a choice they made because they thought that their audience was a little bit dumb. I don't know. But the accent that they made him American
Yeah.
to differentiate him from Lucifer, who has a British accent.
Yeah.
But because we're so used to seeing that face speaking with a British accent, when he starts speaking in his American accent, it sounds so fake. To me.
It was weird. Yeah.
It really put me off.
Mm.
It put me off the character so much. Like, I found him unbelievable.
Yeah.
Which is disappointing.
Yeah. Actually, I mean, it would be fair to say that I really enjoyed the side characters more. I felt their development was interesting, a lot funnier. You know what's going to happen with the detective and the Lucifer storyline. You can guess plot point for plot point, and maybe that makes it less intriguing, although you're rooting for them. That's the whole focus of the story, really.
Yeah.
But now that we've had so many seasons, there is some more focus on some of the side characters. So we have the baby, and there's a whole storyline that's going on with that. That's really interesting. I thought that was quite fun.
Yeah.
The way you have angelical cats, powers interacting with a baby and learning what it means to be human, or how you raise a baby. Even with the Lucifer and detective relationship, they've got to learn what it means to have a relationship with a celestial and a human, and that dynamic is very different.
I'm slightly concerned about the actress who is playing Chloe Decker. I've noticed over the seasons that she's gotten thinner and thinner, and she's like barely there, and that really worries me.
I know, you said it a few times.
Yeah, like
why is she so thin?
Really so thin. And they're now trying to hide it. You'll notice with her wardrobe.
Yeah, baggy clothes.
That they're putting her in baggier clothes, and that scares me. So,
when you see the clothes kind of suck into her, I mean, I know I need to lose weight, but when it sucks into her and there's like, whoa, there's nothing.
Yeah, it's her arms. Like like they're not there.
I hope she's okay.
I hope she's okay. I found the writing for Lucifer's character to be frustrating, because I felt like they kept undermining and undoing any progress that he ever makes. It's very annoying. But I think it's just a trope that they've gotten used to doing.
There's a character element. There was a description of his character in this series, and they nailed it. He's basically a child.
He is the oldest child.
He's the oldest child
in the universe, because
he wants it now. He wants to fix it straight away. He hasn't learned what it is to be human.
No.
So there is that description in that, and you just go, yep, that's him, yep. Which can make it quite frustrating to watch. Special effects and action sequences.
There's lots of action, as you would expect. Lots of fighty and hand-to-hand combat. There's a little bit of
Angelical cats.
Because Jellicles can.
There's some wing work.
I really like the wing work.
I thought the wings were amazing.
Fantastic.
Like, really, most of the time, really super believable.
Yeah, most of the time.
Yeah. There's a few times when you're like, CG wings.
But what they do with them, and when you get the action sequences, it's pretty cool. Especially when you get into the hand-to-hand combat. I've always found this series really believable. Like, they're really hitting each other hard.
I love Mazikeen when she fights.
Yeah,
she's
it's
so
just so believable. You feel like they have superpowers, as they should do. They should be overpowered. And I feel like to show that, it would be quite tricky because, they're humans. And without doing it on wire work. So how do you show that? And I feel like they get that right. Music score and sound. Underrated, understated. Which I think is
the time.
Which I think is what you like, apart from the intro, which it goes la 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 la, burr 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 burr. That's the only bit I really take notice of, which I sing along and hum to, which I think is a good thing. It's not taking forefront, but it helps when it needs to. I think the Biff Boff Bash sound effects are there, and I've never gone, oh, that sounds out of place.
Yeah.
I think the actors are doing a great job with what they're doing, apart from your issues with you're American now.
You're American.
Humdinger.
It
seems like we're coming down really hard on this series. I actually really enjoyed it. It just took me a while to get into what they were doing with it. It felt like they were allowed to be more creative with this series because they have more episodes. Whereas the previous season, they were like, well, we don't know what we're going to get anymore. This time, they're like, okay, what can we do creatively? Thus, we had
There's a flashback scene, and it's all filmed in black and white, which was rather fun.
Sometimes when you say that you have filler episodes. I think you felt like it was a bit. I felt like it was adding to the backstory of a character. So And I
Bit of
like
both.
that. I like that because it later on there's some weight to that. If we hadn't had that story, then that wouldn't have a certain character wouldn't have felt the way she did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Overall, what's our feelings? How do we feel about this?
I have mixed feelings about this because there were parts I really enjoyed. The action sequences were great. I think it looked good. I especially like some of the comedy moments. I think that's sometimes when it's really strong. The writing, the timing of the tone that they're going for. You can have some really dark, depressing stuff, and then they'll just lighten it with a Lucifer moment, as we know. And I think Lucifer, when he's on screen, I relax because I know what I'm getting from that character.
Right.
It's quite funny because the first couple of episodes when it was the brother,
Yeah.
I wasn't enjoying it so much.
Yeah.
And so when he's around, I was like, yeah, cool. When you have the Chloe and the, is it Chloe?
Chloe is the detective.
Yeah. Not so much when it's just her because there's not much to her character other than
She's in love with Lucifer.
she's in love with
She's
Lucifer.
a detective.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, again, also I have mixed feelings. I felt a little bit bored, to be honest, in places, which I really didn't feel at all with season 4.
Yeah.
There was no boring bits. This one felt a little bit like they just took their time. Like you know, when characters make progress and then go back and like mull around and like, oh, I'm not talking to you, I'm not talking to you, I'm not talking to you, and I don't know how I feel, and I don't know what this, and I'm just like, oh, come on. Just get over it so we can have some progression in the story now.
It does feel like they took a step backwards.
Yeah, it does.
Because they got more episodes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it felt
But
weird.
it was enjoyable. But it wasn't something that I desperately wanted to watch. Like when we watched season 4,
Desperately
I was
wanted
like,
to see it.
put it on, put another one on, put another one on. And this one was like, do we have to watch another one right now? Can we like watch another one later?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, each episode is about an hour. The last one is over an hour. So they are fairly long. They're not like the standard TV episode, 45 minutes. So, I mean, take this with a pinch of salt. If you're a diehard fan of Lucifer, you're probably going to love it.
You're going to love it.
I was introduced to this late. I enjoyed the 3 seasons. I thought they were very interesting because the story arc, season 4, is still my favourite. Season 5, so far, I'm not that impressed. I enjoyed it,
Yeah.
but it's not great. So I'm going to give this a B-.
So I concur with your B-. I think that's probably about accurate.
So chat to us in the comments below what you thought about this series. Are you excited about it? When you do watch it, this is a non-spoiler review. We are having a spoiler review coming out on Friday. So if you watch this review beforehand and you want to talk about the spoilery things because you like doing that, then jump down in the comments below on that one. Thank you so much for listening to us. I hope you found it slightly enjoyable and not sad that we didn't like it because sometimes, I didn't hate it. I thought it was alright.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for watching this review, but most of all, until next time, remember,
Live long and Tuesday.